If your 6-month-old is waking every 1 to 2 hours, needing to be rocked or fed to sleep, or naps are all over the place, this is the exact age where sleep training can completely change your life. The first question that parents always ask is my baby ready? And this is something that's so deeply personal to each parent, but really, if you're thinking about the following things, you'll know that your baby is ready for this next step. We want them to be at least 4 months old adjusted. So if they were born prematurely, we want to make sure that they are taking into account their adjusted age, at least 4 months, and feeding well during the day. This does not mean that they are not doing night feeds. This just means that they are getting in an adequate amount of ounces during the day. So if and when they started to wean those night feeds and move more of those feeds to the daytime, they would continue to grow and to gain weight. This isn't as much of a concern for a lot of children. We can sleep train and keep in night feeds, but we just want to be careful about how that happens so we're not confusing your little one. And then we want to make sure that we are giving them the ability to self-soothe. Maybe you've seen them like stir in the middle of the night, but get themselves back to sleep. Maybe you've seen them bring their hands to their face or to their thumb to their mouth so that they can start to begin to self-soothe. They do not have to have any self-soothing abilities, but if we do start to see some already, that's definitely going to be very helpful. So if you're seeing any and all of those things, it means you are ready to sleep train. So before we start, you need to know that the common pitfalls that typically happen when parents do start sleep training. We really have to start with a consistent bedtime routine. We need to have anchors on each end of the day. So we need to have a bedtime anchor and we need to have a morning anchor. This way, your baby can start to consistently get ready to fall asleep, set that circadian rhythm to be able to fall asleep around the same time and wake up around the same time. You do not have to fix nights and naps at the same time. I do not want you to get overwhelmed at the prospect of all asleep having to do a complete overhaul at the same time. So I teach a way where we can get practice during naps while still ensuring that your child is getting the sleep they need to ensure that they are set up for a good night. But the biggest mistake that parents make is having inconsistent responses to overnight. If we leave our child to soothe, and then we feed them, it teaches them that they need to cry long and hard and get really upset for a feed to come. We do not want to teach your child that. We do not want to teach them, sometimes I'm going to leave you for a long time to try to figure this out, and sometimes I come in right away and I pick you up and I rock you and I feed you or I drive you. We really need to be super consistent about exactly what's going to happen every single night at every single wake up so that they know what to expect and you feel more confident in what to do. If you're guessing and making it up every time, it's not going to go well for anybody because you're going to constantly feel confused. They're going to constantly feel confused and no progress is going to happen. And we cannot expect zero crying. Crying is a good thing because it means our children are communicating with us. Imagine if they never cried. We would never know if they were hungry, if they were sick, if they were tired, if they were hurt, anything like that. So we do want crying, but we want to mitigate that crying. We want to make sure that they're not getting up to a level 10 when they're crying. We want to keep them at like a 5 and below. So there will be crying, there will be fussing, there will be maybe some like higher level, like come up and come right back down. But as a parent, we just need to be ready for what sleep training is going to be. And knowing that sleep training is, that crying is part of the process is okay. It doesn't mean that you're doing anything wrong. It just means it's part of the process. So I've done step-by-step videos before on sleep training. So if you are looking for more step-by-step of exactly how to create a consistent bedtime routine, how to pick a sleep training method, all of those things, you can find them on my channel. But when you are going forward, back to that, like having consistent responses overnight, you need to know what those consistent responses are going to be. So before you start sleep training, you need to have a response method. There are multiple methods. And again, there's another video, I can link it above, that I can stay consistent with this method for at least 10 days. That is when we're going to see the magic. Sticking with it for 1 or 2 days, not going to be enough to build a habit. Sticking with it for 5 days, we're getting there, but there may not be enough variability yet. We need an off nap day. We need you to have a weekend where your schedule is a little bit different. We need some real life things to come up to know that this plan and these strategies are going to keep your child sleeping well, no matter what else comes up. So 10 days is really going to get you to that magic place where we know that this is working. And we, of course, you have heard, need to put your baby down awake and not asleep. In order for them to learn any soothing strategies, we need them to be wide awake, or I like to say as is, when they go into the crib. We do not want you to spend, or I do not want you to spend any time trying to find that perfect drowsy but awake. It does not exist at this age. No longer is going to work for you. We put them down as is, which is however you finish your bedtime routine, whatever level of drowsy they are, they go into the crib at that point, and we help them soothe from there. Because sleep training is not about leaving your baby alone. It's about giving them the tools to be able to fall asleep by themselves. We really want to give them that autonomy, that confidence, that security as you're teaching them this skill, and then slowly weed away that support as they get better and better about displaying it. So I personally teach that we are there supporting, helping them learn this. We're not just throwing them to the wolves and hoping that they figure it out. During this process, it's going to be a little bit difficult on the first night or two. I want you to understand that it is a process and it's not always a linear process. There are going to be days where it's a little like up and down. We're not just going to go straight through. So the first nights, I would say night 1 and 2 are going to be the hardest. Between nights 3 and 5, that's where we're going to see major improvements. Your child is going to be falling asleep faster. They're going to be falling asleep with less protest. They're going to be sleeping much longer stretches overnight. And then about a week in, we've already hit that regression night. They have made progress, regressed a little, made progress again. So week 1, we are seeing very consistent sleep, and you are much happier with where your child's sleep is. In my work, I stay with families through that second week because I need to ensure that illness, missed naps, travel, all of those things are coming up so that we can make sure that this sleep is going to stay consistent and it's not just a pop-up skill they have. It's something that they're going to be able to use night after night after night. So if you want more information on exactly how I teach your child to be confident, to have autonomy in their learning while making progress and getting consistent sleep each night, all you have to do is comment below. You can comment plan, and I will send you the next steps to book a call so we can chat about that. Because once you notice your child's schedule is off, maybe they're getting too much daytime sleep, maybe you're trying to stay super consistent to the approach, but you're not able to be, that's when we want to make a change. That's when we need to speak to an expert, an actual live person, not ChatGPT, not anything else, to make sure that your child is continuing to make progress. Because the longer that you work on it and it's not working, the more confusing it becomes to your child and the more frustrating it becomes to you. So if you've been trying any sleep training strategies and you have not seen success, in about 3 to 5 days, something isn't working. So come to me, bring it to me. We will check out what's going on and let you know the next best step in order to be able to get the sleep that your family needs. So again, if you need more support, all you have to do is comment plan below or go down to the description. I have so many resources linked, both free and paid support. And I cannot wait for you and your family to get the sleep that you deserve.